Hi guys, so today's video is a serious subject. It's a syndrome that a lot of new members experience, and we call it the new client ear muff. So basically it's a filter that new members at Prime Mover, not all, but some members suffer from, and some people get over it within a week. Other people, it might take a month. Some people, unfortunately, never get over it. So, basically, what happens with this condition is that we say something to somebody, and then the earmuffs, the new client earmuffs, filter that information and basically turn it into something else that the client ends up hearing and believing. So an example of this would be when we say to people, clear out your cupboards, get rid of all the crap so that you can't eat it. The new client sort of interprets that as move that stuff to the back of the cupboard just in case there's an emergency and we need to, we need to eat that cereal, or we're pushed for time and we need to have that wholemeal pasta, or these things that have been on the healthy food list for so long, and then all of a sudden Prime Mover's telling you not to eat these things. The reason we're telling you to not eat these things is because they're really bad for your weight loss, for your health, for your fitness, for your mind. So that's one of the first things that people get jumbled up because of these new client earmuffs. Another thing that can often happen is when we get somebody and we'll do the first month's measures. So we'll say to them, you've lost 3 pounds, but you've dropped 2 dress sizes, which is obviously great news. The new client earmuffs translate that into you've only lost 3 pounds. So then they think that because they've done this, all this hard exercise 3 or 4 times a week, and they've really done well and stuck to the diet, which they must have if they've dropped 2 dress sizes, but they interpret that as some sort of negative because their friend that was doing Slimming World lost 4 pounds. No dress sizes lost, they just happened to lose 4 pounds. So this is another way that the sort of new client earmuffs can mess with people's heads. Something else that we often say to people is if you stick to the nutrition rigidly, so you're really getting that result, that after 30 days we will welcome you to have a drink, because obviously part of the 30 days is cutting out alcohol. So after 30 days you can have a drink, but the new client earmuffs interpret that as it's okay to drink. They miss out the bit we've said about sticking to the diet for 30 days and getting the result, and then as a reward having the drink, and they just go and think that it's still alright to drink a bit of alcohol. Another thing that we can say to people would be about not using the weighing scales. This is more women than men, but not using the weighing scales, because we go by inches lost rather than by weight lost. So we'll say, don't use your scales, just get rid of your scales. The new client earmuffs can interpret that as only get weighed once a day rather than 2 or 3 times a day like people often do. So again, we're telling people not to get weighed for a very good reason, because the weight change probably, especially over a month, probably won't change that much at all. Long term, if you've got a lot of weight to lose, you will lose weight, but initially we're just aiming to get those inches down. So we don't want people getting disheartened by thinking, oh, I've only lost a pound this week or this month, when the real results we can tell you with the tape measure. Another way that, going back to the alcohol, another way that that can be misinterpreted is we could say to someone, a small glass of organic red wine is actually really good for people's health. That gets misinterpreted or misheard because of the earmuffs into one small bottle of white wine is okay to drink. Unfortunately, that's not the case. With regards to the weights in the gym, we can say to people, or to women, lifting big weights is not going to make you bulky, and that gets misinterpreted into lifting weights makes you bulky. For some reason it just completely gets switched around. Guys have a version of this as well. With the guys, we'll say to them, don't lift too much weight that you can't do it with good form. This gets misinterpreted into just lift whatever you can, so long as it's going up or down, just lift the weight and form doesn't matter. Again, that's not the case. And then finally, this is my favourite, is that we'll say to people, all we're cutting out of your diet is the processed man-made quasi-foods that aren't doing your health any good. And the new client earmuffs interpret that as there's literally nothing left to eat. So this obviously couldn't be further from the truth, because we advocate eating plenty of vegetables, which there's, you know, thousands, the good quality meats, some fruit, nuts, seeds. So there's obviously plenty to go at, and for myself and all the primary staff, we all live like this, and we don't struggle with finding stuff to eat. So obviously this is just a bit of a joke, but just to try and get you to sort of really think of the stuff we're saying to you, we're saying it for a reason, because we know it works and we know it's going to help you. So really try and take on board and listen to what we're saying and absorb what we're saying, and start practicing what we promote to you. So that's it for today. I'll speak to you soon.